You know, I can't get over. I can remember during the Reagan years when I was in talk radio, I used to talk about the deceit and the lies and the murderous treachery committed by people like Oliver North and General John Sinklob and that whole raft of people that worked for Reagan, who were busy setting up peasants and indigenous people in Guatemala and El Salvador and Honduras to be slaughtered by thugs and bums and killers that we trained down here at Fort Benning. I can remember during George Herbert Walker Bush presidency talking about essentially some of the same stuff because the murderous assaults against democracy in Central America continued. And I can remember during the Carter administration, talking about the same thing. Now, wait a minute. Stop. Back up. I wasn't in talk radio during the Carter administration. I got them backwards. Reagan. It was Carter first. Reagan, George Herbert Walker Bush, and then Clinton. I can remember during the Clinton administration talking about the bombing of Serbia, the first time Allied bombs fell in Central Europe since the end of World War II. It just went on and on and on. There was always some kind of a foreign policy issue that I found disagreeable, whether it had to do with the treatment of the Palestinians by the Israeli government, whether it had to do with the 2 or 3 wars we had against the Iraqi people for no fucking reason whatsoever, Reagan's bombing of Libya, which killed Gaddafi's stepdaughter. I think it was his stepdaughter or adopted daughter. There was always these presidents, these Republican presidents, were always doing shit that screamed for criticism, that screamed for pulling back the curtain and talking about what the bastards were doing. And Clinton. But, and George W. Bush, too. But with Trump, it's just day in and day out slop from these portable johns that you see outside of public or outdoor gatherings. That's the kind of slop that is the Trump administration. It's unbelievable. And now he's picked a fight with the husband of his top advisor, Kellyanne Conway. I wonder what the fuck she advises him on. What does that woman do besides come out and issue non-statements about non-events that is nonsense? I mean, what does she do? But her husband, George, is a real firebrand right-winger. I don't care for anything that George Conway stands for. A lot of Republicans have, in media and academia, have made the definitive statements over and over again that they think Trump is an asshole and that he's not a Republican, that he's not a conservative. Well, no shit, but you people still created him. But anyway, poor old George Conway. Trump tweeted, I think today, George Conway, often referred to as Mr. Kellyanne Conway. Oh, right in the balls. Huh? Right? Right, Donald? You got him right in the nuts, huh? Mr. Kellyanne Conway. Way to go there, Donnie. By those who know him, is very jealous of his wife's success and angry that I, with her help, didn't give him the job he so desperately wanted. Conway didn't want a job. Trump offered it to him, and Conway turned him down. Oh, my fucking word. Trump went on, I barely know him, but take a look, a stone-cold loser and husband from hell. He's a whack job. There's no question about it. But I really don't know him. That's what he said on his way to Lima, Ohio today. Trump added, quote, I think he's doing a tremendous disservice to a wonderful wife. Kellyanne is a wonderful woman, and I call him Mr. Kellyanne. The fact is that he's doing a tremendous disservice to a wife and family. She's a wonderful woman. Well, let me see. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, Kellyanne will probably be gone within the next 7 days. Now, what Conway wrote on Monday, what he tweeted over the weekend, I should say. First of all, he's long been critical of Trump, as most conservatives, real conservatives, would be. But the attacks between the two ratcheted up when Conway questioned Trump's mental health. Remember, he tweeted those screenshots of the medical definition of narcissistic personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder, both of which Trump fits into as neatly as you could imagine. He just slides right in to both. And the tweets, or the screenshots, are from the DSM-5. Conway wrote Monday, tweeted Monday, quote, all Americans should be thinking seriously now about Trump's mental condition and psychological state, including and especially the media, Congress, and the Vice President and Cabinet. And he responded to Trump's Wednesday attacks, today's attacks, by writing, quote, you seem determined to prove my point. Good for you, hashtag narcissistic personality disorder. In another tweet, Conway wrote simply, you, period, are, period, nuts, period. Kellyanne doesn't know what the fuck to do. And that's so typical of a good Christian, conservative, white lady. She didn't know what to do. Well, my husband's over here, and my God, president, is over here. Oh, what to do? And they're having a tiff. What to do? She said this Monday, when she came out to stand in the driveway, looking like she'd had a rough night, she said, quote, I have 4 kids, and I was getting them out of the house this morning to talk to the president about substance, so I may not be up to speed on all his tweets. She told Politico that Trump, quote, left it alone for months out of respect for me, but you think he shouldn't respond when somebody, bitch, this is your husband! Somebody! Have you ever referred to me as somebody? Not intention. What? Somebody. But you think he shouldn't respond? Referring to Trump. When somebody, a non-medical professional, accuses him of having a mental disorder, you think he should just take that sitting down? What the fuck? This is not like Mary Madeline and James Carville. They treated each other with respect, even though Carville was the uber liberal and Madeline was the uber conservative. But these two, Kellyanne added, don't play psychiatrist any more than George should be. You're not a psychiatrist, and he's not. What? Don't play psychiatrist any more than George. That makes no sense, Kellyanne. Now, in an that it cracks me up. But you think he shouldn't respond when somebody points out that the emperor, not only does he have no clothes, he is a fat, ugly piece of Caucasian bullshit fascist Nazi? You're supposed to be quiet? Jesus Christ. George Conway in an interview with the New York Times and the Washington Post yesterday, said he uses Twitter as an outlet for his frustrations with the administration so he doesn't argue with his wife at home. Now, that may be a ha-ha, giggle line, but I think there's also some truth to it. He added, George did, quote, the mendacity, the incompetence, it's just maddening to watch, referring to Trump. No shit. The tweeting is just the way to get it out of the way so I can get it off my chest and move on with my life that day. That's basically it. Frankly, it's so I don't end up screaming at her about it, end quote. And then Trump sought today to justify his Twitter bullying, this prick bastard, slamming the media in the process. Trump has so many enemies, doesn't he? This paranoid fuck, doesn't he? Trump said, quote, I think that Twitter is a way that I get out a word when I have a corrupt media. He says he has over 100 million people who follow him on Twitter. Well, actually, it's 63 million, but who's counting? Trump went on, he said, quote, it's a way that I can get honesty out because there's tremendous dishonesty with respect to the media. Can you fucking believe that? Trump uses Twitter to get honesty out. Go ahead, say something.
I'm still, I watched that little press gaggle on the tarmac this morning, and, he was walking up, approaching them, I guess, from several feet away, and as he's walking up, he's going, no collusion, no collusion, no collusion. It makes me wonder if he doesn't just wander around now just saying, no collusion, no collusion.
He's sick.
It's like a subliminal message or a mantra, or you just picture him sitting there in front of MSNBC with a cheeseburger. No collusion. No collusion. It was the damnedest thing. And then he kept saying, out of the blue, out of nowhere, this guy's going to write a report just out of nowhere. It's like, out of nowhere? Surely this isn't the first time you're hearing about it.
Honestly, what gets me right in my political gut, almost as much as this monster in the White House, is the total acquiescence and submission that his cabinet shows around him. You take a super Christian, oh my sweet fucking Jesus, a super Christian like Mike Pence, who, had he not been selected by Trump as Trump's running mate, would have lost his seat in Congress. But there's Mike Pence, who I'm sure goes to church every Sunday to praise the Lord, right? But the way Pence and the rest of these cabinet members, they fucking know what they're dealing with. There have been so many insider books written now that show the degree to which his cabinet and his vice president sit there like a bunch of goddamn zombies and never say a word. And I hope history treats Mike Pence and the rest of these cowardly sons of bitches in his cabinet the way they deserve to be treated. As a bunch of cowardly, silent, near traitorous little puppies that Trump just kicks around at his convenience. And what does Pence say? Look at Pence. Pence always has this look on his face. How you doing today, Mike? Mr. President, how am I doing today? I'm going to do okay. What?
Again, my classic Mike Pence moment was for whatever reason when Trump at that little conference table put his water bottle on the floor, and in his peripheral vision, Pence never even looked at Trump, but he just picked his water bottle up and put it on the floor
Right.
like Simon Says. That was strange. That is still so strange.
God. Hey, Truth Seekers, Mike Malloy here on the Progressive Voices Network. We've got a deal for you. You can now subscribe to our new one-hour audio-video combination Malloycast for only $29 a year. But you have to act fast. This deal ends on tax day, April 15th. Since we're without any business managers now, 100% of your support goes directly to maintaining our nightly campfire. Visit MikeMalloy.com to renew or to subscribe. And thank you for all the ways you keep it lit.